Ukrainian Ambulance Corps head says he gave strict orders to castrate all wounded Russians because they're cockroaches, not people. This is a bloke called Juzenko, the head of a Ukrainian ambulance corps, boasting on Ukraine's Channel 24 that he gave strict orders to castrate all wounded Russians. This is what he said.
Я своим врачам дал указания. Всегда я был большим гуманистом и говорил, что как только человек раненый, он уже не враг, а пациент. Но теперь очень жесткое указание всем мужчинам кастрировать, потому что это тараканы, а не люди. И поверьте, все врачи, которые всю жизнь спасали пациентов, русские тут будут умирать в большом количестве. Те, кто идет, будет вспоминать кошмар украинской земли, как немцы вспоминали Сталинград.
Two things. This is a guy who's supposed to represent a country defending freedom and democracy. But it also shows you what happens when you dehumanize people because of their view or because they're simply from a certain nation. You dehumanize them and perceive them as cockroaches, and thus they do not come under the perception of fairness, justice, empathy, compassion, none of it, because they're cockroaches. They're not human. And this is what's happening, and more of the population are being encouraged and pressured to see people that don't agree with, I say don't agree with them, because it's not really them, don't agree with what they've been programmed to believe, more like anti-vaxxers, as they call them, and COVID deniers, and climate change deniers, and people that think, oh, there's probably more to know about this Ukraine situation. They are dehumanized with help from the psychopaths of Silicon Valley and the media, of course. Here's an example of that. A British professor faces government crackdown for questioning Ukraine war narrative. This is the professor at the University of Edinburgh. He's facing trial by media and a government crackdown merely because he shared an article questioning the narrative behind the bombing of a theatre in a Ukrainian city. He is currently cancelled by the mob, or being cancelled, because he shared an article by the left-wing news outlet Grayzone, which suggested the theatre bombing blamed on Russia may actually have been carried out by Ukrainian Azov fighters, which means far-right Nazis. That's what they are. And the incident was immediately exploited by NATO powers to justify more military support for Ukraine and led to Joe Biden calling Vladimir Putin a war criminal. However, the neo-Nazi unit is accused of using civilians as human shields inside the building before blowing it up as Russian forces entered the city. So there's an incident. There's two possible sides to it. One side saying this, one side saying that, but you're only allowed to hear one side. And if you try to put the other view or allow people to see it, he's not supporting it necessarily, he's just saying, hey, there's an article, then you get attacked. And that's how fascism works.